So yesterday, I wanted to quit. It was a tough day for me, and a few things transpired, but I didn't make any brash decisions. But here are some things that I am doing to wedge against some of my uncertainties and some things that I will 100% have to do in order to build certainty back in my life. So this event led me to wanting to, potentially quit or contemplate the idea of walking away, seeing what I've built as a form of learning and, potentially move forward. But what I realized is this event emphasized one thing: how unprepared I am. And I feel super, I'm thinking it over, and I'm like, if this happens, and this, and I just realized, this could all, I would have maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 times less stress by doing one thing. I picked up a paintbrush and I finished painting a room because I'm going to rent out my house. And we're going to continue to live below our means. We bought a nice place in PA. We got to live the dream when we had a kid, and it puts things into perspective. I don't want to lose the asset that I have, but it doesn't become an asset until I either cash out on it, put a tenant in it, or sell it. And that's kind of where we are with the rising cost of childcare. I need to be truly extremely careful and responsible that I don't put myself, my family in a position. So I picked up a paintbrush and I painted a room, and I am now gonna be finishing up that room today, finishing up all the baseboard and the first floor tonight. Going up to the attic to make sure there's no, there's like a little bit of it's not a situation, but there's a little bit of looks like moisture coming through from the ceiling on the second floor. In the attic, I'm gonna look at that. And then I'm gonna go to the first floor, paint the trim there, paint the walls white, done deal. But why? Because since I'm unprepared and someone could take away an opportunity, someone could dangle that over my head, it makes me feel inferior. And I get a bit of the ego wants to come out. The ego wants to come out and play. He wants to prove people wrong. He wants to just say F off. I don't need this. But I do. And that's the truth. Can I find an opportunity somewhere else? Absolutely. But I believe it's truly more about the dream and the goal of grinding towards the goal that I'm going towards, and more stress that it didn't work out here. Because just how they say, there are a million fish in the ocean, but this is the fish that I'm choosing to have. It's the same thing with business opportunities. I'm not gonna say that you if you find Nike and you pass on that, that's over. But if you are good at certain things, you can kind of just find another opportunity as you get better with your skills. That's just what happens. It's much harder to stay in a position if you are continually building your skills. It's almost impossible to stay broke, almost impossible. And Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be rich. You're probably going to be making 40, 50, 60 a year, but you'd have forever job security in that instance. But I was ready to say, screw it. I'm not dealing with this. You know, you got me messed up. I'm not going to accept this type of stuff. Like, you think you could talk to me like this. You think you're going to, disrespect me. And, I was pissed off, man. I wanted to be right. I still went to bed at 5 a.m. And man, like, it was brutal. Cause you go through the situation, and you sometimes you get tired of empathizing. Sometimes you get tired of being compassionate. Sometimes you get tired of putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Like, sometimes you're exhausted. You say, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, today's not the day. And like, if you think that this is what it is, then sure, like, you could take me for a fool if you're taking me for a ride. But the truth is, you have to corral those thoughts, because they turn into demons. They will fester and eat you up. They're eating me up. But I chose to pray my rosary, and I chose to work and do what I could control. And that, I guess, is the one thing I could give to you, because not all days are good. Not all interactions are great. Some days, everything goes wrong. Some days, you got a plan, you wake up, you get punched in the face, and you still got to follow through your plan as you're getting punched in the face. And you got to swallow your pride. And, like, you got to do what you got to do. We're not, like, I'm not in the business of making excuses, right? But that, the other side of that, as that sounds super, I'm that guy. The other part of that is, like, when there's conflict, you're choosing to de-escalate. And at the same time, you also have to choose to plan ahead and plan for yourself. I was reading this book called Business Made Simple by Donald Miller. And he has a really good principle in there. And it says, high-value people know how to handle conflict. And then another principle below that says, high-value people know how to de-escalate. Yeah. The other thing that I found really interesting, and I'm going to share this with you guys, is high-value people choose not to be confused. That means if you know what to do, if you settle on that decision, that's what you have to do. Move to action once you know. You have to decide to be certain. You cannot settle on being confused if you know what you have to do, especially if you've been going through this situation for some time. And that's what I'm choosing to be, not confused. I'm choosing to see things as they are, let things play out, but in the back end, as things are playing out, instead of me being caught off guard by the inklings of a decision, or seeing if this is just a one-off occasion, I'm going to plan my escape. Because if I had $0 in bills, for one, I probably wouldn't have been that stressed about it. I would have been like, that sucks, man, I'm sorry. I would have had no skin in the game to feel so pressured to make things happen, And we put these things upon ourselves. We let these things start to manifest. We don't keep ourselves in check. We experience the lifestyle creep, and it's tough because certain decisions have like certain decisions have a runway, and sometimes you can't reap the rewards of that decision until 3, 4, 5 years down the road, but you're in year 2 and it's going rough, and you can't see any fruits until that 3rd, 4th year. So you got to find a way to figure it out. And it's not just like business, right? It's just like, it's principles, it's your spiritual life, it's your, am I dirty here? It's your spiritual life. It's a little bit of everything that boils down into a pot. And this is what they mean by, like, you have to carve it to make a character, a permanent mark, to get what you want or get what you don't want. And that's the toughest part about growing, about wanting a business and having partners, is it's not easy. It's extremely tough at times. When times are great, when there's money being made, everybody's happy. When you start to lose money, when jobs go backwards, when you do jobs and you make nothing, you make less than nothing. Because back in the day, you could stop at zero. It just seems like 2025, you could just roll on by and they'll bury you, right? And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to paint a picture that when, you have a plan, and then as you're having this plan, life is just going to kick your ass. Or you kick life's ass. But I think that's truly a matter of preparation and putting yourself in a position that, hey, I wouldn't feel as angry, as pissed, as vulnerable, helpless if the house was rented. I was paying maybe $500 a month, $700 a month. I was going to fire me with a retard. Well, if he does it, it is what it is. I don't care. But that's like, you don't get there. Sometimes some people never get there. Some people are already there, and that's amazing. True freedom. But I want to learn to get there by still acquiring the things that I believe, that follow along with the goals of my life. And I'm choosing to live boldly, step into life aggressively, and go for the things that I believe in my heart of hearts are mine. That money is mine. That success is mine. But even when I fight against myself to even experience that success, it's still mine. Because what you have is yours, what I have is mine, and what will be mine will never be yours, and what will be yours will never be mine. And that's just what it is. Beautiful people. Tough days are coming. And sometimes they're just a moment. But you'll literally beat yourself up over that one moment for 10 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours until you blow up, and then you implode, and then you self-destruct, and whatever progress you made in your life, you destroy. And this is the most important part about having something to lose. When you have nothing to lose, I can start over. And yeah, there's true freedom there, because I feel the same way. But I want to be more calculated, so I have to be intentional about those decisions, because it doesn't just affect me, it affects my spouse, it affects the lifestyle of my child, and it also will affect how long it takes for me to get back and to climb back to here or like even further back with bad decisions. It is so hard to get places, get back to where you were before, better, by trying to accumulate bad decisions that will somehow add up to good decisions. Somehow add up to success. Somehow add up to money. Like that's just not what's gonna happen, to me at least. Now, with that being said, stick it out, man. I love this quote. It says, if you're gonna be stupid, you better be tough.